लाइव शेयर करी
आगे से उस पे फेसबुक पे यूट्यूब
Hamza giving the ball after the lunch break. We spoke quite a bit about Pakistan's tactics and when they've used their boats, especially after a break. What be your way to go after lunch for Pakistan?
Afternoon, Sean, and welcome back to all our viewers. This is an important season for Pakistan. I feel South Africa, they're in full command of this game. Talk about a lot of questions around this Pakistan outfit. They need answers. They need answers in the form of picking up wickets. Feel they haven't been good in terms of their processes. Look at the economy rate of the bowlers. That tells you a story. Most of them have been going forwards and above. That tells me that they haven't been able to keep the game. While as Calvarena favors by controlling this game in the bowling department. Yes, it's a good surface. When you come up on these kind of surfaces, it's your processes that count as a bowler.
Spoke quite a bit about Calvarena and how he's a nervous start at the beginning of an innings and generally doesn't get his feet moving. Something maybe Pakistan could target is now it's after a break. Again, you have to get started again. So find a way to put him under pressure.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting field placing that they've gone with here. 7-2 field. I haven't seen this kind of field placing in a very long time in the test format. But it's indicating to me that Mir Hamza will try and bowl it wide of Calvarena, forcing him into the offside. Yeah, he can't come straight with the field that he's placed here for Calvarena. He's got a deep square, mid on in place. So anything straight is easy pickings.
Can you consider it being negative? Bowling very wide at the off stump and taking away some scoring options. Can it be considered that?
I think it will be just a test of patience for the South African batters. It's a bit like watching the leg spinner coming around the wicket and bowling into the rough. Is he going to be able to take the game on?
The fielding's good. The crowd at one stage thought he may have just found a way through.
Yeah, we know Calvarena, he's very strong square of the wicket, so it might be an option to lure him into a false stroke outside an off stump. He's in full control of that stroke. We've seen his vulnerability at the start of his innings, where they zone in onto those pads, the ball running back at Calvarena. You perhaps want to do that again here straight after lunch, because the batter has to start again. It's a change in tactics. 4:29 for 5.
Ducking into the ice creams. It's usually Sean Park who's got an ice cream in hand at some point in the day. Have you had one yet, Sean?
Have you seen any floating around?
Never mind, the ice cream. Sean loves the party pack. Chips, chockies, cookies. Oh yeah. It actually takes me back to a vendor at this particular venue. He used to sell chockies, the cookies, the lollies, wafer to make him staffer, whatever his sayings were. sucker to make him wakker. Those are all South African terms. Yeah, it's so difficult from a Pakistan perspective. You've been out in the park for 4 sessions, only managed to pick up the 5 wickets. Very often a dangerous time as well, because as a unit, you can fall into the trap of waiting for the declaration to happen. Once you're at that little juncture from a mental point of view, it could be very dangerous, because your batters have to come out and bat and don't have any negative thoughts. It's your time to bat. Looks like we've seen so often with tired legs. You lose 2 quick wickets, and you will have your back. You'll be up against it.
Last one, a slightly quicker one. Slightly quicker one, had a bit of bounce as well in the penultimate delivery. It's 4:31 for 5. Has 300 deliveries now. Rickleton, 515 minutes he's been batting for. Lovely day in Cape Town, certainly from South Africa's point of view, and the crowd as well. Enjoying some good test cricket. Great setting with some wonderful weather. And for Pakistan, climb continues. Sean, from a bowling perspective for Pakistan, somebody like Amir Jamal has been expensive. He's been going 6 runs and over. What do you do possibly as a chat to him to try and maybe bring him back and find a way to sort of make him effective in some way in this bowling lineup?
I think we had high hopes from a reverse swing perspective coming to this match, that he might be able to be effective, but 17 overs, 0 for 103, he hasn't been able to find any of that. He also hasn't been able to use conditions the same way as he did in Supersport Park, where there was bounce, there was movement through the air. But I'm interested to see what role they play with him going forward, because they kind of have got into a mindset now, it looks like, of declaration bowling, where they just kind of hang it out there and say to South Africa, okay, you're trying to get a milestone in Carvarena, Rickleton's trying to get as many as he can possibly do, but we're not going to give you anything. We're going to set a very strong offside field, and you guys make the play. Whenever you're ready to declare or give us an opportunity to bat, we'll take that. It's almost a plan E or F with regards to trying to be effective. But yeah, I don't know what role he's going to play. Very surprised by the team selection at the start. And they decided not to go with a recognised spinner, considering South Africa had announced their
Immense powers of concentration, Rippleton, and also fitness as well. It's pretty warm today. He's obviously been batting for a long time. Just the mental fatigue also can take a toll on you, but he's not showing really any signs of it. Deciding to use the feet and using it rather effectively.
Wasn't obviously got it at the middle of the bat initially when it went up to the air, and the fielder at long on was trying to almost get into position to take the catch, but it didn't sound like it was off the middle. Just you can see his bat turns, the bat face opens. That's maybe why there's immense contact, but it's still good enough to bring up his 5th 6 of the innings.
Yeah, I just get the sense that Carl Verreynne is going to be the aggressor in this partnership. Didn't get all of it, but picked the right spot here at Newlands. Sought the boundary straight.
Some good bowling brains in that Pakistan unit. I think you think of Akib Javed, Azam Mahmood, played a lot of cricket around the world. And that's why I was a bit disappointed at their plans yesterday when the ball went a bit flat, particularly in the second session. So it'll be interesting to see what they come up second time round. Salman will probably bowl a lot of overs from the Wynberg end, and the faster bowlers will have to think really clearly about what they're trying to achieve.
440 now on the board. They are 5 down, South Africa. Pakistan celebrated an early wicket today at Mountbatten. Feels a long time ago now. They must have felt at the beginning of the day that this is just their little opening to get back into the game, but not to be at all. It's thanks to obviously some really good batting from Rickleton. Verreynne also now finding his rhythm with the bat. He struggled a little bit initially. Partnership 117, 164 deliveries, so yet another bruising partnership for Pakistan to deal with. Had a few in this test match.
Yeah, I think Polly mentioned the brain stress around the bowling department for Pakistan. And a big part of the talk yesterday morning was around the surface. Of course, they played the last test match up in Centurion. The conditions are vastly different. Rocked up here in Cape Town and almost expecting it to be the old Newland surface. But in that, you need to assess conditions. Of course, for those who have been around, you'd have seen the amount of grass covering that has been at this particular venue over the last couple of seasons. This particular fixture, they've saved all the grass off, so you have to readapt your thinking as a unit. You can't just rock up here and expect the surface to play the same like it did last year versus India. But also just from a general planning, tactic point of view, been bitterly disappointed.
Pakistan had quite a lengthy practice on New Year's Day. I think it went just over 3 hours. We normally be around 3. But they had quite a long practice, initially out in the nets and then eventually out in the middle. And we spoke a lot about them not being 100% sure on their selection. I'm sure all those questions would have been asked at the time. Just made the one change, resting Naseem. It was the word we were told. He's been rested. Not going in with the frontline spinner. He had a long time out in the middle of New Year's Day here at Newlands. Chance to get used to the ground, the conditions as well, where 3 of the players have played here before in the 2019 Test match. For others, it would be relatively new.
Yeah, he's so strong square of the wicket. It's a lot more comfortable. Playing off the back foot. Once the spinner come on, he really looks to dominate them from the get-go. Once he's got into his innings, he started moving his feet a bit better. But he's so strong square. You want to stay away from those kind of zones because he will dominate you.
When you talk about the game, you're so right with regards to a lot of people look at it from a statistical perspective. It is a statistics game, isn't it? I mean, a lot of scores and averages and tallies, etc. But I always felt it was more situational, and you can come and look what happened in the last test match and get conned into sort of selection. And I mean, even at the toss, the skipper said that if he'd won the toss, he wanted to bowl first. I mean, on this kind of pitch, that shouldn't have even entered his brain. But not having played lots of cricket and not having the past experiences being on this pitch, seeing what the pitch looked like on day one and the last time when it only went basically 2 days, they've learned that lesson.
Still busy learning, so on.
Flashing at it quite hard, tried a relatively similar shot previous delivery. This time he'll get 1, 4, 4, 3 for 5. His feet to the spinner previously. Now it's a chance of Rickleton.
Yeah, and an excellent option from Ryan Rickleton. We've seen how you're comfortable playing him off the back foot the previous over, trying to give it a bit of flight, but he's met halfway. He's met with a good piece of willow down the ground. Maximum for Ryan Rickleton.
Yeah, he almost got a little bit subdued, didn't he, after he got his 200, after he got to 200, he clipped one away, went to 2 of 4, but since then it's been slow going. 450 for South Africa. Now he's got himself back in after lunch, you might see him start to express himself a touch. I think he'd love the opportunity to try and post a 300, and in order to do that, he's going to have to play a little bit of aggression or mix it up.
I think Pakistan is now entered that zone where it boils down to personal standards. How much energy you still have to propel the battle forward. South Africa, they are now getting themselves into a position of real command.
Oh! A little bit of interest shown by the keeper, Pakistan, and Salman as well.
Just look at the reaction from Ryan Rickleton, suggested this was awfully close. It's wide of the crease, the angle. There was a very good reason for them to be oohing and eyeing.
Yeah, maybe just a little closer than he would have liked. It's 451 for 5. 451 is on the board. Just looking at the breakdown of the hundreds for South Africa. On at a good rate all the way through. Pakistan also trying to work hard on the over rate too. Lost 10 overs yesterday, not necessarily all down to Pakistan. They did have a delay for the injury, of course. They'll take all those things into account. But this morning in the first session, bowled 27 overs, so that was much better from Pakistan's point of view. And they're just pushing up their over rate as much as they can. Unfortunately, we are at this rate going to be losing quite a few overs through the test match. You must know, obviously, where the ball is going to be. It's going to be wide outside the off stump. We spoke about this field that they are employing. Mir Hamza bowling to the right-hander. He knows it's going to be wide of the off stump.
Yeah, I suppose the big question mark is how long will Kyle Verreynne keep his composure? Because he's a guy who likes to score, he's a guy who likes to feel bat on ball. I get the feeling we will see a bit of improvisation sooner rather than later from Kyle Verreynne.
Again, a continuation of that plan inside the off stump, wide of the right hand, and now it's a test of patience for Verreynne. He's 15 away from a milestone. A couple of hundreds last year. He's been in a situation recently where he's been on the brink of 100.
I suppose it's a tricky situation for South Africa from a captaincy point of view, because do you let it meander on and try and bat as big as you can in the first innings, try and bowl Pakistan out twice? Do you try and get to a particular target, which I feel 550 might be a good target? No ball, ill discipline from Mir Hamza, and allow yourself the opportunity to perhaps bet a second chance in the game.
They're going at 4 and over, so I don't think there's a real worry from a declaration. I think they could easily bat just until after tea and then have a crack at Pakistan for maybe 20 odd overs. I just think Verreynne needs to find a way to rotate strike now that this new plan has been introduced in a very strong offside field. He's trying to whack it through, where it might be better served just sort of knocking it down and running through. He hasn't trying to force the issue again. Length delivery.
Let's just look at the shiny side being an outside here, Polly. That's an early indication that there might be a bit of reverse swing on offer here for Pakistan. Talk about reverse swing. Are you a big fan of it, Polly? New ball or reverse swinging ball?
I mean, if you got the ball reversing at the back end, then you were very happy. I found it very challenging to come on and bowl a spell of reverse swing, trying to get your wrist into like a certain position, and then all of a sudden the second your ball came around and you had to rejig how you were holding the ball and work on your skills to make sure you could present it properly. There's no doubt that in swinging, reverse swing when you're in the subcontinent trying to target the stumps was important. Another plan miss to end the over. 452 for 5.
Could probably start a show with those two called Unlikely Friendships.
Nah, they'll be best of mates, I can guarantee you that. Boy, oh boy. Tomorrow evening at 6:10.
Saf and Polly will be closing eyes.
Vern, you say that you and Polly will be closing your eyes, so will I. Pommy behind me too.
Chuck Bungway in the mix as well.
Pommy earlier said he's worried. He's just a little worried.
I actually tell you what, Natalie, I'm actually not too worried about those kind of fixes. It's the minnows that I'm worried about, the ones that you're supposed to win. We fall into that category of minnows as well these days.
I think that's been the best sort of rise of the Premier League, is that it's not those kind of top 5, 6 anymore. Anyone can beat anyone on their day, and that's been the nice part about it. It keeps everyone entertained, and you thought you had a banking 3 points, doesn't always present itself.
Chat with Graham Smith, obviously, at the lunch break. Pommy and Vernon having a chat with him. One about the test match, obviously about the Pak VS SA 20 coming up as well. Very sweetly yet again. He's in his 29th over now. Maliaga, it's a lot of bowling for him in this first innings. And the work continues. Some weary bodies out there for sure. It's 456 for 5.
Hot. Even hotter because of the score. 456 for 5. Alvarena 87. He's played really well. 5 sixes, 8 fours.
And I think we know what he's thinking. He's thinking about 13 runs right now. I wonder what Freckleton's thinking. It's hasn't really got going today. Really? He's played so well.
Much work to do in the outfield. Bowlers and fielders alike toiling. With more than 450 on the board, you just wonder how long they'll be out there, South Africa. Little matter of a milestone in terms of Verena, and then there might well be a kind of chit-chat about declaration and when's the right time.
Yeah, it's tough for Pakistan because you can't think like that as a cricket unit, that you're waiting for an opponent to declare innings. But in the meantime, you can have a little challenge amongst yourself, you know, from a bowling perspective, what you want to do on a flat surface. How many balls can I bowl in that area? How long can I test my skills? What about the fielders? Gotta keep engaged somehow, because this is just the beginning of a massive battle. Next battle is obviously to bat well.
And ideally, they've got to shout out any thoughts of declaration, of course, because they've got to make sure that they're totally in tune when they do get a chance to eventually bat. It's been a long haul for them, 115, just over 115 overs in the park. I would think sometime just after the tea break, I would probably look at maybe 40 minutes, 45 minutes, frustrate them a bit more after tea, maybe an hour, if things are going well, get as many runs as you can so you can have a healthy burst at Pakistan tonight, because they will be so tired in their bodies, and therefore the mind's the first thing that goes when you're really tired. They're going to have to front up with some bowling from a couple of blokes. Parker on debut, who's going to be bowling quick, there's no doubt about that. Rabada, who was magnificent at Super Sport Park. On the surface, will be doing a couple of variable things, I would imagine, late in the day. You do notice that new ball wicket. All will be new tonight, all will be new again tomorrow when they front up. It'll still be nice and shiny, that Kookaburra. Maharaj with the pads on there. Janssen's listed to come in next.
The onus will be on senior players to G up Pakistan. That's another important role that they'll have to play. Got to look after your own individual health and team's health.
A shot from that visualization in the crowd as well. 458 for 5. Porsche, chairperson of the board of CSA, and Mr. Mayos, independent lead director of CSA. All smiles as South Africa pile on the runs.
Now, I just wonder, yes, there's a glove change there, but I just wonder if there's maybe a little bit of a message to come out also from Reckleton and also Verena. I don't think they would have had to go to Verena. I told Ryan Reckleton what the deal is. Maybe they said to him, right, here's a chance, get on with it a bit here, because we're thinking about making a move.
That's on, I say it is. Just back.
Yeah, I'm still going for that hour after tea, or so they got a nice burst tonight and a new ball again tomorrow morning, newish ball again tomorrow morning. I'm still going that route, but maybe a chance for him. So get close to that 300 mark, who knows if he plays out of his skin from here.
He's done well today, actually, and it might seem like things have gone slower for him, and that might be because of the way Verena has played at the other end. Yeah, 50 runs is scored today. Also the 80-odd balls. Don't need to be any quicker than that.
Oh, yeah.
And what he has done is just ensure that he removes all risk. A couple of times he's used his feet, he's played a shot or two here and there, but yeah, no criticism as far as the tempo is concerned.
No, I've got no criticism whatsoever because I think it's been a remarkable performance. I'm just thinking about the rare opportunities you get as an individual. I mean, imagine if he does happen to do it. I mean, his strike rate for most of his innings has been 75. He just happens to get 300. That'll be just unbelievable.
About 460 for 5.
Yeah, a couple of left-handers working hard on the offside and just trotting through for one.
Pakistan wanted to slow down the order, and they've been reasonably successful. Mir Hamza has followed the instructions of the skipper. It's a strong set of fielders on the offside, and he's bowled a wider angle.
And all a part of it. Lose patience, lose the battle. So often you'll hear that said. And as Verena and Rickleton perhaps formulate a new plan on how they're going to keep going with their rate of scoring. And perhaps they can shift back towards those stumps. But you see Verena here sort of trying to get outside off stump because of that line, because of that field which has the offside pact, but it's difficult to pierce it.
Unless he stands on that off stump and then work the ball against the line towards the leg side. Just two men on the leg side, so plenty of space. But for that to happen, he needs to have a big heart. He's on 90. And also, can he improvise? Should he improvise?
Take what you're given. Absolutely no need to manufacture anything. Batting at just about 4s, going a good enough rate. He's 90 of 130 and has been as correct as anything, and you don't want to give it away by trying to manufacture things unnecessarily.
So much time left in this test match. No rain around, so that's good news for those who like watching cricket. Not so great for Ramid.
Yes, no wait. Good slowy. Nearly through as well. Wasn't prepared for that. Verena took him by surprise a little.
I think also the Pakistan batsmen, yeah, they're going to be tired when they do get a chance. But gee, what a good service to bat on at the moment. Still playing nicely. Far cry from what they did fight against last week.
Ideally, you're always looking for that balance between bat and ball. We saw that plenty at Centurion. Yeah, probably you get that on day 4, day 5, end of day 3. The ball may just do a little bit more for the bowlers. It may just grip and spin. For Maharaj, may just keep low, and so we'll see a different set of challenges come day 3 after tea.
South Africa would absolutely love that, with 460 already on the board. I'd love for those cracks to open up. Yeah! 460 for 5.
So in a way, it is important for South Africa to continue to bat. This is the best time to bat. So let the pitch wither away a bit. More debris around that good length area. Take it from there.
There's 52 overs left in the day's play. If we get them all in, we missed out on a whole chunk yesterday. So there's still so much that can happen for the rest of day 2.
Mind on during the lull. Ensure that you continue to concentrate. Back for a second. There you go. Overthrows. Spectators love them.
So if you just look at this game now, so another 22 overs, around about that, maybe a couple more, will bring him another 100 runs. If Rainer gets his 3 figures, he'll be even more aggressive, I would imagine. Yes, they're going to try and keep him nice and quiet, but they're not managing to stop that run flow enormously. It's still hovering at 3.9. Times they've been going at 5 and over South Africa, but this negative line is obviously going to just peg that back a little bit.
Also, maybe time to expand your range against spin. We haven't seen any of the South African batsmen really to play the sweep shot, for example. I think there's an opportunity there. There's no one there at square leg. But then quite happy to just work the length and play with your wrists rather than playing that sweep shot in an area where both Rickleton and Verena can experiment. It's a safe bet.
4-6-4 for 5.
I'm sure he'll go ballistic once he gets to his 100 because he's that kind of a character and bats at that number where you're supposed to have 2 games. Where you want to back well with the upper order and you need to be responsible with the tail and up the ante, increase the pace. It's kind of inbuilt in these number 6, number 7 batters.
Look back, highest first innings totals. South Africa 4-6-4. Don't even figure on that list. Much batting still to do. We feel so. As I say, still a whole lot of time, and there's also an exercise in grinding your opposition into the ground. What's the saying? Never give a sucker any break.
Who came up with that? Who came up with that originally? Do you know? Never give a sucker an even chance. Rambo, do you know? You might have played against him, Rambo. I certainly did. There's a clue for you.
Australian?
Might have been. Yes, Australian.
You weren't around in 1920, were you?
I did say I might have played against him.
Go on then, Hazy.
Dennis Lilly.
I played against him in a Lilac Hill Park game, and that's the only time I faced him.
That was always the first tour game, wasn't it?
That's right, in '96. Still was ferocious. The body language was still of a tear-away fast bowler.
Did Jarvid play?
Yes.
I made that reference because there was a test match. Was it that tour when Jarvid and Dennis Lilly had that altercation in Perth at the Wacker? And that I can't remember exactly what happened at the start. I think they were having words initially. You perhaps be able to help me out here, Rambo. I know what happened at the end.
Yeah, I mean, I thought he was taking a run, a single, and then Dennis Lilly came his way, Javed felt. That will go across for not a boundary. So, what's happening now on 95?
Good recovery, well done.
Yeah, I want you to try and recover from this, Michael. Never give a sucker an even break.
Yep.
1941.
I told you I played in that era.
American comedy film. Directed by Edward F. Klein.
Okay, so Dennis Keith Lilly, he didn't use those words because there were like 3 or 4 swear words in the middle.
Okay, so it's a different movie then.
Continue with what happened there, Ramis, with the jab at Meander to Dennis Lee.
So I think there's Dennis Lilly, I'm not too sure, but he came in Javed's way when he was taking a single. So there's a little bit of pushing and body jostling and all that kind of stuff. Then I think Javed pushed him back, and then he threatened to hit him, and then with that epic picture where he's looking to hit Lilly with a cricket bat.
Which, he's cracked that. He's cracked that out of the screws. That's gone for 4. That's a really good shot. More of an opportunity for Mohammad Abbas into the attack to get some runs.
Yeah, clearly a tight delivery, because that's so unlike Mohammad Abbas. Usually he's on target, accurate and all that. Didn't have any pace, maybe trying an off-cutter that sat up nicely to be hit for 4. In front of mid-wicket. Just a single away, 1 away from 100.
Applauded. He's been aggressive. And despite his aggression today, his strike rate still sits just below that of Ryan Rickleton, who's at the other end and on 228. Testament to how quickly South Africa have scored, and the fluency of Rickleton through his 100 and 200. Really lovely position for South Africa. Once again, for a 3rd time, this Newlands crowd applauds in anticipation. It's cut away. He'll take 1 and take his tally to 100. Kyle Verreynne, for a 4th time in Test match cricket, gets a century. 37 innings he's had in Test match cricket as South Africa's wicket keeper. 5 sixes and 9 fours in that. Special.
Top knocked that. Particularly way into fight when he first arrived. His feet were going nowhere. He got through that battle. It was a tough battle. Mohammad Abbas was bowling real well to him, and he got him through that. And he played superbly ever since. And this was a really memorable 100. Something he's going to remember for some time and really enjoy this because of the tough work at the top. To get him into these 3 figures and to play freely after that. Nicely done. Nicely done.
A 3rd centurion in the Test match for South Africa. Went past 1,000 runs as well today, and he was on 40. Kyle Verreynne.
That comes across as someone who is mentally strong. And also has the game, the flair. Plays the short ball well.
Catch it! Shouts of catch it. Oh, it went straight to him. He didn't see it for some time. And then only moved as it was sort of halfway to him. Ahmed Jamal, fortunately, was that close that he takes the catch. Verena, after getting to 100, is gone.
Well, this was a tremendous catch in the end because he wasn't really reacting when the ball was in flight. But stand up for this great innings in the slot, and for the first time trying that sweep or slot sweep, and he did not budge, moved, and in the end, just when it was required, he was on top of it. Very good catch in the end, but a great 100 from Verena. Entertained one and all with his flair and great batting.
Yep, he'll be applauded as he comes off.
He's a good judge.
I'll hold off on that.
Something not right with that guy.
One of the heroes from Centurion, Marco Jansen, has a best score of 84 not out. Walks out to the middle, so cool and calm under the pressure. The previous test match with South Africa 8 down. Wonderful partnership with Kagiso Rabada to get the Proteas over the line. Walks in here in a very different situation. Bit of a chip. Not so easy to stand face to face with Marco Jansen.
This had to be a 6. Didn't get the right connection, and there Ahmed Jamal didn't see it straight away, but a very good catch.
Lost it in the mountain.
Yeah, to 100 and then out straight away.
What?
4-7-1 for 6.
Sort of chip in. That's a catch again. Jamal. He was the most surprised, I think, out of everybody. Verena thought at this stage he'd hit it straight down his throat. He started to make the movements towards the change room. End of a fine knock. Really nicely played.
He sits in the change room now, happy to have done well to get the 3 figures, but no doubt a sort of reflection and contemplation on sort of what might have been had he been able to carry on with the game we know he possesses, having got himself in. But it's that little bit after the milestone where he just needs that mental relaxation, where you're susceptible. Shot! Oh, yes! Ryan Rickle double ton with a beautiful cover drive for 4.
He's played plenty of them. but this probably is the best because he had to thread it through a set of field which was occupying every bit of acreage on that off stump. Really, 2 men there, 1 back at cover, but this was glorious.
He's now gone past Herschel Gibbs's 228, the highest score for a South African at Newlands.
Such a beautiful shot.
Rami's just chipping in very quickly. Just before the iconic photo of Java Miandad looking like he was going to smack Dennis Lilly over the top of the head with a bat, you'll remember that Lilly kicked him up the backside just before that. That's what prompted that reaction from Java.
That's right. Very naughty.
This time we've got a man back. Doesn't make the shot any less pleasant on the eye. He'll just get one this time and rotate. These double hundreds. Newlands climbing up the list. And Stokes 258 was punishing.
Off them.
You can carry on your story now, Michael.
Yeah, so that...
And by the way, good luck.
Yeah, thank you.
Big shout. More in desperation, really. And it wouldn't be a surprise if in desperation they wanted to go upstairs again.
It's sliding. It's sliding down that leg side. Given not out.
Inside edge. Possibly going down the leg side, yeah. Would have gone on to miss the stumps.
That was my response to your story.
Had that the wrong way around. His response to your story.
That's why I shut up after that final comment. I'm in the corner.
Got to finish that over. South Africa look to forge another partnership with Verena just gone. Rickleton still out there on 233. South Africa 477 for 6. Time for a drink.
Welcome drink for the players as enjoy a drink here at Newlands. It's been 15 overs since lunch. South Africa have scored 48 runs for the loss of 1 wicket. Kyle Verreynne has gotten to a century. Double ton for Ryan Rickleton. Mavuma with 106. Verreynne with 100. South Africa filling their boots here on a track that has been conducive to shot making. Pakistan, they have had their work cut out and they've gone through at least 5 to 6 spells each bowler.
He's struggling at the start, but once he starts getting into his work, he's so fluent, he scores all around the wicket and he gets them quickly as well, Kyle Verreynne. That's a shot of particular liking to. Absolutely no intentions of keeping it down. Picked up 30 maximums in that region. Took a liking to Salman as well. That is a boundary. Propelled him to his 100. Second century this season for Kyle Verreynne on home soil.
For South Africa, Shimamla was topping that, beaten 311. Ryan Rickleton currently 233 by 323 deliveries. He's been disciplined, he's been resolute, and he's just continued where he's left off from last night.
There's a Pollock on the list, senior. You were way too aggressive to make that list, Son.
That's at 8 and 9. You didn't have a chance to get a big score like that, did you?
Jason Gillespie would like to differ on that point.
Yeah, he was night watchman. For a period of time, and the first two to break it were Daryl Cullen and Gary Thurston. And I was at the crease on both occasions when they went past the mark. I fabricated a story that when my uncle had got to 274 in 1970, that the family had prayed that that score would never be beaten unless Pollock was at the crease.
Oh, that's a goodie, actually.
And I was at the crease on both occasions. I think we just need to be a bit more specific in our prayer that I needed to be the one with the score rather than just at the crease.
Should have pulled the run out of streak, Polly. Excellent numbers. I'll tell you what, Ryan Rickleton at the moment is 20 shy of Hassim Amla on that list. 477 for 6, South Africa.
A couple of lefties there. You've got Rickleton, Rudolph, Smith, Kirsten, Pollock, all left-handers. You've got 200s.
Ghana featuring twice on that list. Both unbeaten scores. Quiet warrior. Shimamla.
We had a bit of an insert between myself and Graham at the London interval, reliving those sort of memories.
Yeah, special stuff, special generation of cricketers. Certainly laid the foundation for this current generation to do what they're doing. Some good reference points from that 2012-2013 season. Lots of talk about how South Africa will approach the next couple of hours heading towards stumps. It's their declaration around the corner. What would you do, Vern?
Yeah, I think there's just so much time left in the test match, Kaz, so South Africa's absolute no rush to declare. I'd perhaps see them bat 5 or 8 overs after tea and then declaring almost a 40 bowlers 2 spells each.
Worked away nicely by Janssen. Settle for a single.
You give yourself about 20 overs tonight. Ensure your bowlers are fresh and they can perhaps each have 2 short stints and back again tomorrow morning after a good break and be fresh again, so they bettered themselves into a position of command and they're in full control, so absolutely no rush to declare now.
Yeah, and they've worn out this Pakistan bowling attack. Salman has bowled 33 overs, but have a look at that. Mir Hamza 25 overs, Kurum 21. So they'll be mentally fatigued. Knowing that Saim Ayub is out of the game, there'll be thoughts going through Shan Masood's mind. Who's going to open alongside Masood? And facing a South African attack that will offer a lot more pace and get a lot more out of the surface. Massive challenge ahead for Pakistan, already in the field for over 123 overs. 2 wickets to fall today. Bedingham early on, and then Kyle Verreynne a short while ago after getting to 100. Whipped away with authority by Janssen. A wonderful shot.
Yeah, we've seen this so often from the Pakistan bowlers when they're erring straight, they're erring too straight. Mark Janssen with his tall levers. This is angling down the leg side. This is help yourself on the legs, and he's not going to miss out.
There was a big roar when Mark Janssen walked out to bat. Still lots of great feelings after that wonderful win at Centurion. What a performer he's been for South Africa this summer, both bat and ball. South Africa comes to an end. 124 overs gone. It's 488 for 6. I think we can organise that.
Yeah, he certainly doesn't have a lot to do, Mike Haseman, but this one's just angling down the leg side again. We have seen that fielder quite square on the leg side to Marco Jansen, so any little tickle down the leg side is always going to be a boundary.
South Africa have done so well on the surface. It'll be so interesting to see how Pakistan approach their batting. Oh.
Many would say he's earned the right. He's been out there a lengthy time. Because it's the first time that we've actually seen him play that shot. Improvisation, they call it. Polly.
Started the day, we said South Africa would certainly be looking at 450, 500, at 489 for 6. Interesting to see what the change room is thinking. What would they be comfortable with? I mean, actually a heap of runs already on the scoreboard. It's timing. Keep Pakistan guessing. Has 3 wickets of own, 3 for 106, Salman. But chosen not to go with the frontline spinner, and he's done a bulk of the work.
Yeah, he's done a pretty decent job, you'd say, given the nature of conditions.
Tries that shot again, and this time he gets success, does Ryan Rickleton. Up to 240 he goes. South Africa 494 for 6.
Yeah, these shots are obviously premeditated, and ideally when you go down, you want the ball to come at a particular line and a particular length. This one was perfect. Got into position early, just waited for it. The other one got a little bit full on him, but that one came out exactly where he would have wanted it and executes superbly. 240.
Great company to be in.
Mohammed.
Gurum Shazad now back into the attack, 1 for 19, 21 overs. Trying to see bringing the changes, trying to do something, try to get a breakthrough for South Africa's hand. Uzbekistan would have come to Newlands expecting a different kind of surface. Having played at St. Sharon, where there was something happening almost every delivery, it's a huge mindset change. How you go about it, what is the mental game? Shan Masood, it's been tough going for him out there. Big appeal. Absolutely unmoved is Kumar Damasina.
Was there two noises? Masood and Mohamed Rizwan are the ones who are having the consultation. Rizwan's keen for it to be sent upstairs. Masood says no, too high, and the time is gone. Leg bars, so no bat involved.
I kind of like the line on this. If anything's going to save him, it will be the height. Put the tail back. He's a tall, lanky character, is Marco Jansen. He's a long way down as well, so at best, perhaps umpire's call.
Away from 500 South Africa, and it's gone exactly to plan. Rickelson's still there. He resumed this morning at 176. He's been the mainstay of the South African innings. And looking to back big, Temba Bavuma won the toss and will back first. On a track like this, they've been able to build some solid partnerships. Pakistan have had very little answer to South Africa.
To appeals, you also need to take into account the person you're appealing against, and Marco Jansen is a very tall individual, so anything that hits him above the roll, the size of his pads compared to some of the other members in the side are pretty different. That one shows just clipping the top of the leg stump, so if they'd had gone upstairs they wouldn't have lost the review.
Already lost 2 reviews.
About to say, with 1 review left, Polly, are you going to be brave and gutsy enough to take it? That's the reason there was a lot of hesitation from the captain, wicketkeeper. Just looked like there's a bit of tail on this ball. Jagging back at Marco Jansen.
That ball to end the 126th over, 498 for 6. Vernon's part of the world, always talking up part of the world, Western Cape. Wonderful sights and great place to tour. Just for cricket during the festive season.
Talk about that beautiful view. If you're afraid of heights, it's not the greatest place to go, but you can see the cable car. It obviously takes you up to the top. It's a much easier trip on the cable car than it is by foot. I actually was We were chatting with Matthew Hayden at one time, and they talked about how they'd won a test match here, and they all got in the cable car and their kit still in their test outfits, and they went up there, and he was talking about something along the lines. He got on the top of the table, found an entrance, brings up the 500, that reverse sweep. It's a ripple of applause around the ground. He was brave enough to go to the top of the cable car and just kind of hang on as it made its journey up the mountain. I was flabbergasted. See no health and safety at those stages.
Good. So 500 on the board for South Africa, 500 for 6. Ryan Rickleton in the stands for 6. He goes up to 247 with that shot.
He'd be glad that he's picked that one off. He's kind of needed to just have the odd shot from time to time to keep in a positive frame of mind, and that was beautifully executed. Good use of the feet, got near the pitch of it, and it's mid on that area that he's targeting. They've got a man back on the offside, but that's right off the middle of the bat. No issues there. And that's his third maximum of the innings.
They've enjoyed that. They've enjoyed this innings tremendously. This partnership is already 35 from 39. Janssen. So this is some great intent being shown by both batters. South Africa 510 for 6 now.
Let's get the sense that Mark Jansen is going to look to up the end here. He's picked the length. He's got those long levers. Wow, I tell you what, that is some place to hit this cricket ball. Right in front of square, over mid-on.
Front foot pull slap. Marco Jansen. Just sometimes he looks a little bit subdued, and then all of a sudden just launches into one.
Emphatic. Marco Jansen. He's clobbered that.
Of a similar length. Cezart has almost given him a little simmy to the leg side, did Marco Jansen. But again, that length, picked it early. Didn't get all of it. The guy at mid-wicket actually picked it. Didn't miss him by much. But another boundary for Marco Jansen.
Blanky is my idol. I can tell you what, there's a couple of youngsters around the country after that win in Centurion, but Marco Jansen at the top of their hero list. Oh, how about that? Jansen's putting on a show here at Newlands. The partnership has rocketed up to 49 for 42 deliveries.
Not so sure we saw anyone come on at the change of over, but maybe someone got into the ear of Marco Jansen, because it's 3 deliveries in a row that he's just looked to express himself, give it a good whack. It's gone 4-4-6.
Yeah, and I love him when he plays in this fashion. He's so much better when he's in attacking mindset. That's almost practicing for SA20, Marco Jansen. Stay away from that kind of length, bowlers.
I thought you were braver than that, jockey.
This will really be taking its toll on Pakistan. Rickleton's been a thorn in their side, but here's Jansen. He's walked out there. He's just punishing the bowling. 4 4s and a 6 from Jansen. He's on 25 from 27.
As you asked me a little question off air a little earlier, what was the longest that I've been in the field? 162 overs against New Zealand. Hamilton being the venue.
Out, double out. First time that those two better together, better well for South Africa. Different format though, T20 World Cup against the West Indies. But South Africa through that game to the semi-final. Over the substitute fielder, Yassin. 5:31 for 6.
He's got his game set up for the audience, for the fans in the aisle, because he can do this. No matter you have a long on or a long off fence for him, once he cracks him like this, it's going to sail over Naseem Shah or anyone else.
On the board for South Africa. Some fun as well for this crowd as we approach the tea break again on day 2. And some hard work done by Simon Aliaga's bowled 36 overs now. Khurram now into his 24th over. There's been a lot for the family to celebrate for Rickleton. Can he tick another box? He's ticked so many in this innings already. Why not tick another? 250 now. The 10th South African to do that in test matches.
Listen to the crowd. They're lapping it up. They're so happy for him, and he richly deserves this. The standing ovation. Because we've seen such a great innings here. From aggressor to somebody who was quite willing to work his end and to get South Africa to a powerful position. He allowed the others to enjoy his company and he took a back seat, but his concentration did not waver. Tremendous, huge, gigantic 250 not out.
Stickability. Just sat in. Seemingly staying in a bubble.
कितनी बार आप लोगों को बोला कि फेक टिप्पर्स के चक्कर में मत पड़ो। ये दिया आप लोगों को सामने।
That allow him to continue to do the right thing through an innings that's been very fluent. Strike rate of just about 75. And it's entertained family and all manner of spectators here at Newlands.
The other great thing about this innings is that he middled about 99% of the shots. Even when he's taken a single, the ball is just flown off the bat.
Yeah, it's why he must make full use of it. This situation, this feeling, this flow. This is not to say he hasn't already with 250 on the board as a rate of knots.
Lovely bit of movement in the crease from Janssen. Going across, getting closer to the ball. But not too close because he can still free his arms.
What you call a shovel shot. But this was such good intelligent hitting because he covered the line. Bowler dead keen to bowl that wider angle to him, and he makes his own angle through long on for a big 6.
40 from just 37 from Marco Janssen, and it's just a little bit of the bottom hand there as he sends a third ball over the ropes for 6. He's having a great time, and it's just the situation for him.
Looking for a similar result and hit hard enough. They have continued with a 7-2 field to the right-hander. He knows the plan and he has an answer to it.
Well, you've got to kind of velocity we're talking about. The ball leaving the bat in a matter of half a second. And there was a fielder there. It was almost a flat six on bounce over that mid-on fielder. He had no chance. Absolutely no chance. But that ball is being tonked at such ferocious velocity.
Continues to look for runs. There's a lot of gaps leg side because of the field and the plan they have to him. It's working. For South Africa, 546 for 6.
I mean, if you want to try the off-cutter, it has to be absolutely pinpoint accurate. This was such an easy shot for Jensen. No problems whatsoever. What a big over for him in South Africa.
Yeah, highest first innings totals, test matches here at this ground. South Africa continue to climb that ladder. The opening batter for this test match, Rickleton, is also continuing to climb the ladder as well. Keeps ticking off the boxes. I wonder how much Marco Jansen walked to the crease. How much he would have been thinking about the plans that Pakistan had to the right-handed Kyle Verreynne, where they used the 7-2 field a lot. Whether he was thinking, all right, if you're going to do the same to me, this is what I'm going to do to counter-attack it. And he's counter-attacked beautifully. Because the way he's approached has been absolutely phenomenal. One player there in whites, but that's the next batter in. So South Africa looking just to continue these painful blows to the opposition. Lots for Pakistan to think about just to try and get through this innings. Lots for them to think about when they bat as well, Ramiz, as to who's going to open the batting. Mohammad Rizwan has done it once before. It was a couple of years ago, not that long ago, when Imam ul-Haq got injured in a game and had to go for some scans. He did come back and bat eventually, but it was Rizwan who opened. But he's been keeping for a very long time. So who is going to open, Ramiz?
Somebody said Ramiz. Yeah, I think they need to start out well. So I guess Barazam with Shan Masood, send in your best player in, because he bats at number 3. Babar Azam.
Never opened in a test match, Babar Azam.
It's always the first time.
Ask Ryan Rickleton. He's not played as many games, of course, but it's worked out rather well for him.
It's also the type of surface where if you're a Pakistani batter, you're not kind of seeing any demons in it. You've watched the South Africans pile on more than 500, and so you've got to be confident that you too can play well on it. Yes, there's the tiredness to go with that, but in terms of actually having a place where you might be battered out of position, yeah, this wouldn't be such a bad place for that to happen.
So surface, no demons necessarily, but South African attack a little different with the extra pace.
Even against them, if you were to choose somewhere to play, let's say in comparison to last week where you're playing at Centurion and there's a whole lot happening on that surface, yes, the difference in attack, and there's always going to be danger with an attack, particularly with the ball that's new, and you're going to have to deal with them anyway, but you'd rather deal with them on this.
It's the initial phase, like anywhere else, where you need to tighten up your technique and all that kind of stuff. But once you're in on a surface like this, then you can